All right. All right. Yeah, I'm recording now too.
Okay, so here we go. All right.
All right.
Hey there, Wmpyr. Good to see you. VideoSensei. Here with my friend Wmpyr. Just did a quick intro. We haven't talked in a while, so talking about a couple movies, awesome movies. Anything goes. Let's see what you got. Wmpyr, how you doing?
Good, good. So it's been a while, and I know you had been talking about this for quite some time, and I finally got to see it. So this is the last Kumite, and we're not here to bash something that was made basically for us. I mean, we're the target audience, right?
Yeah, it's for the fans. There's, maybe some nitpicking, but overall, I did like it.
Mm.
Like, so just right off, so that I don't. I agree with you. I don't want to bash it, but there's pieces that I didn't like. Of course, I'm not going to like everything. I
Yeah.
think that in a broad sense, people can be satisfied for anything, like a Hershey chocolate bar or something, anything. But the movie was good. The thing that I loved the most was the music. I could hear those synthesizers. I recognized the synthesizers from Bloodsport and stuff. So I was into that, like the little sound effects and things. It sounded like Bloodsport. It sounded like one of those movies. So for me, I was okay with that.
Is
Maybe the fighting kind of let me down a little bit.
Well, is the guy that did the music, is he that expensive now to where I felt like they only had one song, whereas to the original Bloodsport, it was a whole soundtrack, right?
Yeah. I wonder if it was even much more simple that like they wanted to just focus on one song, maybe in the fandom type of thing. Like
Hmm.
they said, okay, we'll give him one song, but you could be right. It could be that he was expensive. I don't know, man. Like I would. That's something right there. Your analysis is great because like it shows that I'm just awestruck with the movie. But if you look at it like that, even Conan the Barbarian, they had the whole
Yeah,
like
yeah,
symphony. Like it's like an hour long thing. So
right.
like in Bloodsport and I think in Kickboxer, it might be the same guy, but I
Yeah.
don't know. But the sound just carried through the whole movie. It seemed like there was a song for every part of the movie, and Last Kumite didn't really have that.
No, and the montage music type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, in the original Karate Kid, that's a very
Okay.
memorable. You're the best. All right.
Yeah.
Of course, right?
Totally. Yeah.
So and also even like in Kickboxer and Bloodsport, they had right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the kickboxer one. It started off with "Everybody Loves a Winner," right? That this one, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad song. I wish they had picked a different one. I guess like something that went better with it. Maybe the lyrics go well, and I just wasn't paying attention. But
I'm gonna try to watch it again, but like I think that it was overall it's okay, but like man, it's maybe they just missed the mark too. Like maybe
mm,
they tried to please too many people. Could that be an effect? Like they were trying to be so equal with their
mm,
like giving the fans what they want.
yeah.
They kind of 70%ed it instead of doing 100% of this. And
Okay. Okay.
uh,
Before we go negative, what was your favorite part of this movie?
well, like I mean, Matthias Hughes, he's the bad guy.
He
So
did great, huh?
yeah, like I mean that was good seeing him as a bad guy.
Yeah.
The but well, it was kind of a predictable movie. So I mean, like I kind of like I just kind of liked it. Like
Like
you
seeing
know,
all the legends again.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I like the nostalgia part of it. Like so, I would say the nostalgia is my favorite part of it. So
Okay. Yeah.
that would be an acceptable answer because like I'm just awestruck by them all. Like even
Right.
though they're old, it's okay. Cynthia Rothrock and all that. Like it's okay.
Well, one thing, one question. Was that Bolo's son in that one fight?
I think so, right?
Right.
Like, isn't it
The
like,
the build, the muscle
yeah, like
was
he looked kind think I may have even looked that up on the internet, like right when I watched it. So that's a good question. Like he really did look like him, like
Okay.
the build. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like a younger Bolo, right?
yep, yep. I mean, like the movie had an okay plot. Like, so there's like a. It seemed like there was an undercover guy, like
Yeah.
in the thing. So, like, the undercover guy kind of makes a run for it, though, right? And like the other fighters, they go through the fighting and stuff, and then he doesn't come back until the like I guess like the cavalry returning type of archetype. I think that's what I remembered from the movie. Like where he comes back like with a bulletproof vest
Yeah.
and like a badge and like, oh wow, you were the whole time, and like so there's a surprise there. Like that surprise was all right. Like it was kind of like whoa. Like,
I liked that they were kidnapped into this. Well, not so much that. What I really liked was the guy's daughter was taken. I told you we were just talking about it
yeah,
that it gave me Commando vibes, which
totally. Yeah,
epic.
totally.
You know, if you're making me think of Commando, you're I think in the right direction there. You know.
Yeah, because Commando was like legit. Like they kidnap his daughter. He breaks into an army surplus store. He's like, the wheels are spinning. He's like, what am I gonna do? He takes an airplane, like
Yeah.
a pilot. He finds the pilot girl, like
Yeah.
all this stuff. It's like all these synchronicities, and he's at the right place at the right time. It's
Yeah.
just such a perfect
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even at the end, like the army's got him on the phone at the end, and they're like, Major, you want to come back? And he's like, no. He got him one line. He's like all cool with the Speedo walking back to the airplane. Like,
And right, he took care of him, all of it by himself, you know.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yes, in Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee was amazing, but in the end, the cavalry kind of did come, and he was the undercover guy. But
yeah.
him and John Saxon took care of the whole situation. So in this movie, I just kind of I didn't like that the guy wasn't the only one that his family member was taken. That's number one. And then number two, because it kind of minimizes that a little bit if everyone else is in the same boat. You know what I mean? And then the
Yeah.
second part was like you said, if they are going to bring in an undercover guy and he's the cavalry, whatever, you still need to show that the main character was really pretty awesome, not just in the fighting. You know, in other aspects, he seemed pretty weak, in my opinion.
I don't even know his name. Like,
Yeah,
I
the
really
character's name.
name. Yeah, not just the actor. Like, I don't
Yeah,
even know who the actor is. Like, we know Billy Blanks and Matthias Hughes. We know all these people. Don, the dragon. But like, I don't know this guy's name. And he looked like a bad dude. Like, he could probably like throw down in real life. But I don't know. So
yeah, and
there is a little bit of a lack of charisma there because like it's not like, let's say if it was a book, it wasn't gonna. I would have read the book because I knew the people that wrote it maybe, and that's what drew me to the movie. If I had just seen this movie without the hype, I may have had a different opinion of it based on what I saw without the like hype of the Bloodsport and
yeah,
all that. But it did give like kind of vibes of a little bit of Enter the Dragon because they're taken like to a location,
Yeah.
and they gotta fight for it. But remember that Dawn the Dragon movie that we talked about where they go and like they do the blood sport type of fighting and
yeah.
like that one had a lot of heart, man.
Blood
Like,
Fist.
yes, Blood Fist, and they made like a whole sequel
Yeah, yeah.
trilogy thing, Blood Fist 5, like it was, or maybe 4, but dude, that was a legit movie. It seems like Last Kumite had a lot of that vibe too, like
Yeah.
with the fighting of the, at least Blood Fist 1.
Oh, okay. So since we talked about our favorite, or you talked about your favorite, which was the nostalgia, absolutely right.
Yeah,
The And I guess I mentioned that the similar part to Commando where his daughter gets taken. So we both like that because of the nostalgia. Okay, so what was the biggest minus of this film? Maybe you already touched upon it. Was it the main character or
I
the
think
way they
it's the
portrayed him?
letdown with the main character. Like, I
Okay,
think he could have been a little bit more like oomph, a little more like super. Like he wasn't maxed out, and like
okay.
it's America. You gotta max them out. Like it's like
Like the 80s?
Conan was over the top, Commando was over the top,
Yeah.
Rambo. Dude, I even wanted to call you like yesterday or something. I don't know what movie I was watching. K2. Probably watched this movie K2, and I know I'm throwing
No.
us on a tangent, but it's got Michael Biehn. They climb a mountain. It's the second highest mountain in
Yeah.
the Himalayas. It's like shorter than Everest by like 2,000 feet maybe, but it's still up there. It's the girl from Rambo is like in the movie, like the girl from Rambo 2. I've never seen her in a movie, and I was like gonna call you. I was like, Wmpyr, like, it's her, dude. Like, she's the wife of one of the climbers at the beginning of the movie, and they're like, if you go climbing again, So there's like a little scene, a little home scene, but she totally is like I was like, whoa, like that's her, because it's 1991 in our time when they filmed that movie. And it was a movie set in like the 80s about these climbers that go to climb the mountain. First Americans to do it. But anyway, I thought that was cool. I'd never seen her in another. Had you ever seen that girl from Rambo in another movie?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The one with Chuck
Oh,
Norris.
really?
Yeah.
I guess I have to watch it again to
The
see. Like
Chuck
Chuck
Norris
Norris.
movie, the one where Barry, the guy who has an overactive imagination, kind of like Last Action Hero, he
Oh
idolizes
wow.
Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is his hero, and his is it his mom, his aunt, whatever is no. It's his dad's ends up being his dad's girlfriend is her, and she competes in Tai
Wow.
Chi in that movie.
Oh, dude, I gotta go look for it.
So what was that called? Do you sidekicks?
Sidekick.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
sidekicks.
oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in that.
Well, you see, like, I mean, I don't want to take away from Last Kumite, but like these movies, they just even mentioning those silly movies brings like this vibrance and like this, like, oh wow. So there's something powerful about the Last Kumite, but maybe just not at the right time. Like maybe the timing was just off. Timing can be off in martial arts.
Yeah,
You
yeah. My
you know
okay.
when you
Here, let me present a different idea. See what you think about this, right? So, in my opinion, where they were missing, right, is and with a lot of these remakes, like I haven't seen the new Beetlejuice or Coming to America or any of these, right? Where anytime they get the legends and bring them back in, right? Like you had already said, it's not that we really want to see them take over because they're out of their prime, you know?
yeah.
So really, it's more like I want to see them in a cameo. I don't want to see them take over, right? Because so what it is I want to see a passing of the torch. That would be satisfying to me.
Oh, dude, I got it for you. This is gonna be like the icing on the cake. My friend
Okay.
from when I was little, like a high school friend, we in college times too. He just called me from out of nowhere, like to not call, but he sent a text from out of nowhere. Like I hadn't texted with him maybe for 8 years. Then he sent me a text yesterday or the day before yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, dude, check this Phil Collins documentary out." And I was thinking about you when I saw it because, like, he knows about my dad, and my dad was a great musician, and so Phil Collins' son and him they made a documentary, and I'll send you the link.
Okay.
And it's a 2 hour long thing, and in it, Phil Collins, he's like walking around with a cane, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is like I don't want to watch this,
Yeah.
and I'm watching it, and like he doesn't even try to play the drums. He's like, like was one of my favorite drummers,
Yeah.
but he doesn't try to do the drums. He doesn't try to do anything. He's sitting with his son, and they're talking about the olden times, and like they're bringing out all these pictures, and he's like 1973. He's like, oh, check out this picture.
Yeah.
And like, so you see Phil Collins, he's sharp as a tack. He's really everything, but his body's just deteriorated from the touring life. He's been a lifelong touring musician. He's done it all, and so it's a great documentary to watch. The passing the torch vibe is perfect in this one because like you see pictures of him and his son being born in like 1997 or 98, 99, whenever his son was born, and he's like a 2-year-old little like miniature human with a tiny drum set. And so you see the little boy with a tiny drum set, and then you see like 16 years later, he's like 16 and he's like playing in Genesis, and then like he's like 20 something and like now, and he's like playing in the Phil Collins band. And so Phil Collins still does his concerts, but he doesn't even do anything except sing. Like his son does all the music, all the drum playing. So it's definitely like it was good. It was not like watching the Pink Floyd people and like trying to see them like. And I don't have anything against growing old. It's just like I believe that there should be like some grace to it. Like you don't have like Madonna on tour is not right. Like not dressed like a inappropriately. She should be dressed according to maybe like her age, and like Phil Collins did it just right. So I think that that's the kind of thing that I would love to see. You know what really struck me well was Kickboxer, dude. When Van Damme became the old timer, dude.
Right.
And that Alain Mousseau, or I don't know if I'm saying his name right.
Yeah.
He was the new champ.
Right.
And so I'd never heard of him before until watching the movie. I'm like, whoa, who's this dude? He's like a 6 foot tall, like built dude, and
Batista.
Like, Batista is like the Tong Po character.
Yeah.
And dude, like you've got all these brand new people that they're successful in their physical stature, in their outside of Hollywood world, successful wrestler Batista, and the other guy Alain, the martial artist.
Yeah.
So all these guys are totally legit. Even George St. Pierre,
that's
did I
right.
get his name right?
Yeah.
He comes out. GSP comes out in one of them. So really good, man. Like that was a good way of showing. Like, hey, I was a star in '87, and now I'm like the star. And I'm the old guy, and like, now we're letting the new guy be the star. What do you think about that?
No, that's exactly my point. Is what I'm thinking is like show the passing of the torch, and it's not. I don't want to see another Terminator where Arnold's playing Terminator. No, show him passing the torch. And some parents, they can't do it. The ego's too big, whatever, and they, and I feel like a lot of these people, they think that the right attitude is to worship the heroes that we had, like Billy Blank, Cynthia Rothrock, all these, legends, and they don't graduate from that. They still want to keep worshiping. No, show them passing the torch, and we'll have a wonderful movie, and it's not, no, I need to see another fight scene with Cynthia Rothrock. No, it's show a new person, like you said in the Lady Bloodsport, and she's using the same moves that Cynthia did, or maybe even customizing the moves, to changing it a little bit. Show me that, and Cynthia in the background going, yeah, I taught her that, I would love to see that,
Remember Chuck Norris movie Delta Force? You probably saw it when you were a kid. Chuck Norris is in a movie called Delta Force.
Yeah.
And they go, I guess, to Panama or something. They bring him back. He was like a retired colonel or something. I don't know. It's similar to all his Chuck Norris movies. But the guy that is above him, like the general or something, his name is Lee Marvin. And that guy was like a super mega star when my parents were kids. So, like, he's a Western star, a cowboy Hollywood star, and I've seen him in a ton of movies. And he's come out in great movies. But that's another good example, man, because it's Delta Force. He's an old-timer dude. he's got like a general rank, and he's got to hire a good major or a good colonel, and they think they promote Chuck Norris from captain to major in that movie. So like he's now like the big dog. But that's a great example of the '80s. People were doing it well back then. The writing was good. Maybe we've just grown up with people who have inherited these writing jobs, and they're not the best writers, or the people that are writing these movies don't have a wealth of information of the background or story archetypes where they can say, you know what, these are good stories to copy, and then let's just put, like I always go back to cartoons, dude. I was watching the G1 Transformers. There's like an awesome YouTube channel that's just got them all like that. You can watch them on YouTube all day long. And so I'm watching them, and like there was a pretty cool story in there about something that like I would have never picked up on when I was a kid. But the G1 Transformers go to Istanbul, and they're looking for like this thing called the Pearl of Bahudin, which is like a Cybertron thing that came down to Earth.
Wow.
When they got here 4 million years ago, and then in the 1400s or the 1100s, a great wise Persian dude finds it and like uses it to control the weather and stuff. And it's like a 20-minute episode, but like I recognize those names like Bahudin and like all the sages and all that, because I went and read books these last 10 years about sages and Sufi and Sufism and stuff. So like I'm watching this and I'm thinking, holy moly, like somebody that wrote this story knows about this stuff in 1983. They know about this stuff, or 84. They read the same books that I'm reading. The books that I'm reading are from the 70s, dude. So like I'm reading these Sufi books from the 70s, and it says like the great teacher Bahudin, and I'm like, wait, that's the same name as like the Transformer. So my point is that we had great writing back then. What happened now? It's 2024. Has maybe what I'm trying to say is there's been a big cultural shift, and the overall common sense value of our knowledge base that we can pull from, it's not the same as the writers that were writing shows back in the 80s and the 90s, because they had a lot more, like their overall, maybe like the brain that they don't have that they're using, but their psychic brain. I'm not saying people are psychic, but I'm just saying that their intuitive brain, that's the better word. Their intuition of how to write great stories had just like this great, it had a magnetic appeal. Man, it kept me in. And I even watched it yesterday again, the Pearl of Bahudin. I was like, no way. It's like got the airplanes, and it's just the aerobots. I get all into the stupid Transformers. Well, they're not stupid. I love Transformers. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
But the storylines, they're 20-minute episodes.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to write a movie, but like I think the writing is the core element that we're missing. They may have got the music right. They got the cinematography was okay. They got the location. They got a sort of a good idea. A bad guy, good guy. Then there's an undercover cop. Then when all this stuff, guy gets kidnapped. People have personal issues, but there was something missing. Like it just didn't have that. Like I don't remember the dude's name. Like he's blonde. I think I remember like the main character.
I think it relied too much on the hero worship of we're bringing back the legends, so be satisfied with just that. And it's like the way they brought them back for me was and I could almost hear the producer or somebody saying like, look, we squeezed in Billy Blank's fights. Did he fight Matthias?
I think so.
Right,
yeah.
so like they showed the Tongpo guy, Michael Kissy, Muhammad Kissy. He actually fights his brother Attila. Right, so they're like, look, these are dream matches, and it's like, no, man. To me, you made a perfect example. It's like watching the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight today. Why do I want to see that? I don't want to see that. And if people want to see that, it's because they're thinking of something else. They think something else is going to happen, and it's like, no, you're watching someone who's way past his prime. You know, why do you want to watch that? It's not the same. You know, he's already done his work. He's already done his accomplishments. You know, so if you think it's going to be something else, you're kidding yourself. You're falling for the marketing.
And that's one of the things Phil Collins says in the video. He's like, I'm not going to touch these drums. Like, I've already done my thing.
Yeah.
I don't need to do this again. If I had to do this again, I'd still be doing it, and I don't have to. So, like, he's really
he gets it.
Reason.
Yeah.
Yes, like there's a scene in I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, The Undisputed, where Boyka, you know, another like Scott Adkins, like I'm a fan of Scott Adkins movies. You know, I might not be a fan of his YouTube channel, but I'm a fan of his movies. I like it. So I'm watching this movie where he's in a Russian prison and he's fighting, and he calls himself like, I am the best fighter in the world, and like he's got this fake Russian accent. And so there's a guy that's in there that was like he's on a wheelchair, and he ends up being his coach. It's like a Miyagi figure, this, you know, the father type of thing. And that guy tells Boyka, which is the character's name, Scott Adkins' character, who is the best fighter, who gets dethroned. Like another fighter comes in and like beats him up, and like he gets dethroned. So he's like, oh, that guy tells him like, dude, you just haven't accepted your circumstances. I accepted my circumstances a long time ago, and that's it. And that's just what it is. Like, maybe I'm not supposed to run a 4-minute mile at age 48.
Right.
But if I can run like 7-8 minutes, I'll be okay. Like, you know, like if I can even just run, like I'll be okay. I don't know why we have this mentality in the West. Is it a Western thing?
I don't know, but I think that's why we both enjoyed Matthias Hughes's acting, because in the previous, when he in his prime, they didn't give him roles like he didn't get to talk that much, and it was just all the action parts they gave. He played a monster, and that's it. So now, like you're saying, he's a different person, and they gave him a much better role that works for him, you know, and we'd rather don't try to run that 4-minute mile, you know. They gave him a different, so we appreciated that. But anyway, I think would you say we covered pretty much what we wanted to with Last Kumite here? Yeah.
I wish I had better things to say about it. I kind of went off the negative vibe, but as cheerfully as I could, because it was a good movie. It was well put together. Like you said, it's for us.
It's for us. Why attack it, you know?
And so I loved it. There were those pieces that as a critical fan of great movies, I said, hey, you know what? This is a little bit weird, and they could have been done a little differently. And I mentioned those examples of those movies. So maybe we can talk about those movies another time, you and I. But I definitely love the music, man. So that's something that it caught me right from the start. And of course, all the legends, dude. Cynthia Rothrock.
It's good to see them again. Yeah. So anyway, this is a good place to wrap it up then.
This is a good place to stop right here, and I think we can wrap it up. And I'll see if I can post this tonight. I always have trouble with my thing, but I'm gonna try to get this up. Thanks a lot, Wmpyr.
Thank you.
Thanks for sure. See you soon.
All right.